They decided to form a joint venture related to generics, but Lilly strategically decided not to enter the generic markets, and the joint venture was terminated. And operations began with only 2 staff in 1993, which rose to 200 in 1994, and the joint venture followed Lilly's Red Book strategy of values. Jasmine will now carry on.
Let's move on to evaluate the 3 successive international joint venture leaders in this case. The first person named Andrew, on March 1993, he became the managing director of the joint venture. First of all, make sure of the name of this joint venture. Lilly was a name that most British in India did not recognize despite their position in the USA. So Robinson was the leader within India, so Andrew was informed that the name of the joint venture was to be Ali Lilly Rockstone, and it sounded for enough. And then the co-function which he made was develop the marketing strategy, enlarge the staff, new scheme of human resource management. For example, by the end of 1993, he began launching new products and employed more than 200 people. And moreover, he improved infrastructure and built up teams working. And the second person named Chris is a British national. In 1996, he became as the managing director of the joint venture. He has expertise in operations of Taiwan. The contribution of Chris, which he made, was build systems and processes to bring stability to the faster growth organization. His own experience in operations made a significant contribution during this phase. And the third person whose name is Raji. In 1999, he became the managing director, and he has high experience in U.S. operations. And he created a medical and regulatory unit to handle the product pro processes with government. And then I will evaluate the unique challenges which faced for these 3 leaders. For Andrew, first of all, he hired sales force, doctors, financial people for regulatory group. This is a challenge. Why is a challenge? Because they need to training them with latest value. And then the high employee turnover is another problem in India, because they have high turnover rate in India. So the value to get investing in training and use the latest training programs. The programs was customized for Indian conditions, but return the latest value. For crisis, the biggest challenge is to keep stability to the faster developing organizations. Because he built system and process to bring stability, because develop standard operations procedures for ensuring smooth operations, the product line also expanded. And the joint venture continues to maintain 50-50 distribution of products from Lilly and Robex, although there were no stipulation to maintain such a ratio. And then he also stimulated the sales and marketing activities around therapeutic areas to emphasize and enrich the knowledge capability of the company's sales force. It's hard to maintain these activities with growth for longer. And for the third person, whose name is Roger, he created the challenge for him is identify the localization strategy with global price brand, and also to manage increasing staff. And then, Chris, I'll do.
And I will ask this question is about assessing the overall performance of the joint venture. And the joint venture brings many benefits for both of the parties. There are 2 parts of performance for evaluation to each company. And for the goal performance of Lilly, they eventually entered the Indian pharmacy market successfully under the Ranbaxy's name and the local. And they also reduced the cost for sources of intermediate pharmaceutical ingredients. And because the Rambaxes, they help them to formulate their product locally. And for the systems, during their cooperation, they have many the same business concepts and ambition. So their working environment and communication are very positive. And Lily also got a top ranking of the clinical organization for making wider range of clinical trials. And for another company, Rambaxi, they enter the global farmers market in the end. And their visionary is become a research-based global pharmaceutical company. And therefore they increase the R&D budgets and try to expand the network of international sales. And for the systems, they help Lilly to set up a distribution network in India, and they follow Lilly's value and they start to invest the training program for employees in order to reduce the high turnover rates. And the employees was trained to be honest in order to develop the relationship with doctors. And for the ELR, because of government regulation issues and lack of patent protection in India, their strategy is only focused on the two products. One is of patent drugs and another one is patented drugs. However, by the end of 1996, the company had reached the break-even and become profitable. And they also focus on the building systems and process and development SOP in order to meet their fast-growing organization. And they create the regulatory foundation and work with government. They have run clinical trials to international standards. And for the external environment, we would like to mention about government performance in this industry. Since becoming WTO members, India policy has been changed. Before, this industry was facing weak intellectual property rights, limitation policy for investors, and low price of products. Since India entered to the WTO, they provide a patent protection, allow 100% foreign direct investors, and also control product price. So these factors of external environment would also bring advantage for investors in this industry. And next, Nisha will talk about the learn from the IJB.
So let's start with the joint venture. In the joint venture, they learned about the research and development because Eli Lilly was very innovative and into discovering new drugs. And the employees in the joint venture, they followed the Lilly's Red Book strategy of values. So Eli Lilly, they learned how to gained knowledge of the Indian market from Ranbaxy, and they also used Ranbaxy's distribution network, and they also benefited from low-cost ingredient sources. For Ranbaxy, they would learn from Lilly's training programs. The programs were customized for Indian conditions but retained Lilly's values. It also learned Lilly's code of ethics and the positive aspects such as the innovative thinking from Lilly. Wakas will do the recommendations.
Well, I think you guys have now a very good experience and a brief knowledge about the case study And now I'm going to give you some recommendations. I will throw some light upon the policies and what the both companies now, what they can do after this venture, how they can evaluate, how they can rechange, or how the strategies can be changed to implement in the future to be successful for both the companies. So as already my group have already told you, there have been so many changes brought to, there have been so many challenges with the joint venture throughout the years. Now they want to review this joint venture. Both the companies, LED and Ranbaxy, review and reevaluate this. So what they need to do is, now it's very important for them to see what's happening all around the world. They have to see, because LED belongs to the US market, so they have to understand what is happening in the US market as well. So not only concentrating on the local markets, they have to be engaged in this kind of thing. Then they can consolidate the trends and trends to go back to the basics. So what they have done throughout the years, now they can revive their policies, what they were before 2 years or 3 years back. What were their basics? What they want to achieve? It's very important for the LED at that time, because they were also suffering, Ranbaxy were also suffering, both have different issues. So at this stage, they can also escalate the research and development cost, and at the same time, longer development and appreciation approval times. So they have to improve on these things. Then growing competition from generics and follow-up products. Obviously, due to the recent development, as already Chris have told you, there have been so many developments in the Indian markets. So what they have to understand, the competition is now been getting raised after those governmental issues, and there will be rising cost containment pressure as well. So I'm going to highlight these points once again, just to revive you that how these changes now have affected this industry. 2005 changes, as already Chris have told you, these three things. In the 2005, Indian government have made some changes in the law. They have allowed 100% foreign investment, or the foreign investor, to come into the country and have their own patent rights and produce their own goods. At the same time, the consolidation and the entry of India into GATT, this was an important step. So what now these factors, how they have changed this situation? LED, now they can focus on the innovation and the research. After these years, now what they can do, they can start their own innovation and research process, and Ranbaxy can concentrate on the generic scores. So the reason for that is that they are both mature. The companies are now mature in their own perspectives, so they can start the proceeding on their own and concentrate on their core activities. The thing was, like, Ranbaxy was facing financial pressure at that time. They want to sell their shares internationally, so they are having some problems. So now they can they can sell their shares to improve their financial position in the international market. At the same time, what they can do is they can launch their own products due to the new changes. Firstly, it was what happened. They were not just making their own product within the Indian industry. Just they don't want to mix it up. They don't want to reveal their secrets. So they were doing it with the collaboration with Ranbaxy. So now they can do their own. They have now, with the change in the government laws, now they have the right. They can produce their own goods. They can start their manufacturing process, and locally, due to the new price control and patent protections. So these are some references. If you want to have some additional information, you can deal with that. That's all for our presentation. I hope you guys have enjoyed that. And sorry for keeping you wait for some time.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Can we go back to if someone killed that mobile, can we go back to the opening slide? I can understand why you got confused, in the sense that this seminar covers two topics, and all international joint ventures contain an element of cross-cultural management. This particular case study does as well, but what we were looking at in this case study was primarily